Good morning, Commanders Nation. So there's not much news right now. There ain't nothing to talk about. There was something about Terry McLaurin, but I refuse to talk about it because, well, I don't want to create something out of nothing. And he's going to be signed before training camp. I firmly believe that. So now with that in mind, a guy that I think is supremely vital to our season this upcoming year is Johnny Newton. Jerzon Johnny Newton. He goes by Johnny, dude. So, he's been like one of the talks of like the OTA's minicamp and offseason. Last year was drafted, second round pick, top 15 value that fell because of an injury. You can see it in the beginning of last year too with us, but he ended on the season on a strong note. And, he's coming into this offseason like a new dude. Like, listen to him.
How excited are you to start year two fully healthy?
It's really exciting. It's a great feeling. Great. Last year I missed out from January to about June, July. So be here the whole off season, getting the ground with my brothers. I feel in the best shape that I felt in a really long time. So
not only does he feel within himself that like he's just much more physically I guess capable now but even he's catching the eyes of Dan Quinn. Like Dan Quinn recently said this about him too.
Johnny Newton, he obviously had a full offseason this time as opposed to last year. How have you seen that impact him coming into this?
Yeah, probably the strength, I would say, Ben, because he wasn't probably able to do all the typical strength movements and feel like his leg strength and that explosiveness. That's probably what I see the most, the twitch. He's always been a quick person.
This man, I'm just like, he is one of the key weapons, like the key players on this roster for next year if we want to go to where we want to go to. Like, he needs to break out, and I feel like he's going to. But yeah, man, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Like the video, dude. Okay, you don't have to. When we drafted Johnny Newton last year, and like I know we all had like PTSD, like for Darian Mathis, defensive tackle in the second round, the fuck, but thank God we drafted him. Because like we let go of Jonathan Allen. We had an out on his contract. We have an out on Payne's contract next year. So who knows if Payne is here next year. Depending on how he plays this year, I think that's going to have a huge say. But like Newton is facing up to be one of the leaders on this defense if everything goes correctly. If everything goes correctly. Like last year, this is a stats from last year with us. 19 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. It's nothing to like be, I guess, it ain't earth-shattering numbers, but like I want to share this stat with you guys regarding with him last year with us because it goes to the game against the Bears. If you're a Johnny Newton stan, you always pinpoint to the game against the Bears. It's like, all right, dude, look at this. Like this is our main point argument. The game against the Bears last year, this man he had 7 total pressures on 18 pass rushing snaps. That's damn near 40% of success rate. That is an insane amount. Granted, it's just one game, so it could be an outlier, but still, he showed his potential there. And overall, this stat right here pretty much sums up why I'm super excited about Johnny Newton. In his final 7 games last year with us, his pass rush win rate was 12.3%, which is compared to 5.9% in the first 12 games. So some of that can be attributed to Newton missing all of spring workout and most of training camp with his foot issue. So this man came in he was hobbled, he was delayed and everything, he had to learn everything on the fly. And then once you started feeling comfortable, you saw the impression, the improvement over the years. Again, it keeps reminding me to Jonathan Allen's rookie year with us. He had same injury problems in his rookie year, was placed in IR, but he showed flashes, and the more he played, the more improvement he did over the course of the season. And Jonathan Allen, his second year in the league with us, he had 8 sacks. And honestly, I'm actually banking. I'm not even banking. My prediction for Newton this year, it's the 7 to 8 sacks range. He's gonna be our best interior pass rusher. So because Payne ain't it when it comes to pass rushing. He's solid at it, but his bread and butter is stopping the run. That's Payne's bread and butter. So Johnny Newton should be. I'm not gonna say could be. Should be the heir apparent to Jonathan Allen. Yeah, man, I'm super high on Johnny Newton, man. And going into when he was drafted, I just want to show you guys just how good he was in college. 6'2", 304, Granted, he did actually play like 296 last year. A recent article said that he played 296 last year with us. But Dan Quinn said, this man now is much stronger this offseason, especially his lower extremities. But, you know, obviously they want to stop the run. And he needs to get stronger as well. Johnny Newton, you know. And like last year, like, you know, like his strengths coming out of college was like, you know, he was compact and muscular with a plenty of upper body power, but not lower body. Loose-limbed and athletic with ability to run the field like a big defensive end. Able to press and set firm edges using either hand for either gap. Tape shows a player capable of rushing with a purpose and a plan. Outstanding instincts and timing for beating a blocker's edge. Foot quickness. This is the thing with him. Creates mismatches for plotting, pass protectors. You know, if all goes well, a top 15 value pick from last year, and we ended up getting early in the second round. Him breaking out would make our defense so much, not just better, obviously, but it can change the entire identity of our defense. We wouldn't have to blitz as much on third downs because I'm assuming they're going to use him on third downs, either like primarily like he's going to be there in nickel situations, pass rushing situations. We wouldn't have to blitz as much. You know, he just needs to replace Jonathan Allen for what Jonathan Allen was in his career, because Jonathan Allen was one of the best pass rushing defensive tackles in the NFL. Yeah, like whether you're a hater or not, you have to admit it. He was one of the best. I'm not saying he was the best, but he was one of the best. And I definitely feel like Johnny Newton could take a similar path, a very similar path. And if he does, Pro Bowler in the second round, we good. We hit it. Yeah, man. Like, even though Kinlaw was signed, I think Kinlaw was signed to be, you know, the versatile player. Granted, he is going to be playing on defensive tackle, but they're saying he's also going to be playing on the edge, primarily on run-stopping situations. I mean, you still need a three-man defensive tackle rotation, so it's going to be those three: Payne, Kinlaw, and Newton. But, you know, obviously we got other dudes like Eddie Goldman, Day. But, like, to me, it's just like this year we're kind of relying on, but like safely relying on. We're not doing this just blindsided. We're relying on a lot of guys to take that next step. And I think Johnny Newton is one of the most important guys to do so. Because if he does it, you know, I feel like this is one of the main reasons why we didn't go out, we didn't splurge in free agency. One was because we didn't want to overpay, because everybody was getting overpaid. Two was because, well, we have dudes on the roster who are ready to take the next step. Javonte Jean-Baptiste, possibly. Even then, we got Jacob Martin to compete with him. You know, Jordan McGee, linebacker. You know, we got Luke McCaffrey at wide receiver. You know, even though we got Deebo Samuel, we still need, you know. But, like, I'm just saying, like, defensively, Sanders still, even then, you know, he already took a step, but, like, still, he can break out even more. Quan Martin, like, we got a lot of guys on this roster who are just ready to take the next step. And when they do so, we will take the next step as well. Because the next step, honestly, like, we went for an NFC championship. Like, the next step is Super Bowl contention for us. And it's crazy to say, but, like, you know, we gotta get used to it. We gotta get used to it. But Johnny Newton, man, if he does this, we will be in a good spot. And honestly, like, I'm like 95% certain that he's gonna do it this year. Not like I said, I'm calling 7 to 8 sacks for him. He's gonna be the best pass rushing defensive tackle that we have on our roster. And honestly, that ain't saying that much, but still, you know, even Dorrance Armstrong, like, Dorrance Armstrong's a guy where I'm just like, I kind of feel like I want to make a video on him because I feel like he did solid last year, really solid, but I still feel like there's still room for improvement with him. But Newton, man, Newton, I think we're going to reap the benefits this upcoming year. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're already, like, clogging him as being, like, one of the feature faces of this defense. Not just defensive line, the entire defense. Yeah. You know. But yeah, man, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think? Give us predictions. How many sacks do you think Newton's going to get in his second year? He had 2 last year. I'm calling 7 to 8 this year for Newton. So, but yeah, man, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. Till next video. Peace, y'all.